go out and that you can actually drum up far more business than the collective audience you have walking past the store. The production process, I heard, was a bit of a nightmare.
Chaotic.
Chaotic, is to say the least.
Yeah.
The mixing of the recipe, I understand, was down to you, Alex, is that right?
No, I was responsible for weighing the ingredients and putting them in the hopper. It was Rawley who was actually manning the mixing machine.
Why did we end up with a lump of gunk?
Lack of mixing and lack of water, essentially lack of attention to detail.
The recipe was followed perfectly, however, due to the rust content of the sausage, it really needed more water, but it takes a sausage maker, I think, many years before they get it right every time.
The girls got it right.
It looked like sand. It was far too dry. The mixture shouldn't have left the mixer until it was at the right consistency. That's what we were told.
At the end of the day, there was a lack of control over the whole process. You know, people were assigned tasks and then
we created a bottleneck. There was a bottleneck created because we got the mixture wrong. Once that was in there,
because nobody weren't on the right station.
Nobody
knew what their job was.
Everybody knew what their job was. If you were listening, you would have known what your job was. That's absolute rubbish.
Essentially, we were poorly managed. I think he was slightly out of his depth with the...
Absolute rubbish about being out of my depth. You all breathed a sigh of relief when I stepped up right at the beginning and said, I'll manage this. There were 7 big egos there that were thinking, great, I'm off the hook. And you were one of them. I admit that I didn't sell, but I focused on being a project manager and managing the team.
Sales director of it in your day job.
Correct, but if there's a selling task, I can go out there and I can sell. I hustled a fair few, well, not fair few, I hustled to the £14 worth of deals, but I was working with a young group of people there who needed coaching and some training.
Lord Sugar, yesterday I was let down by a team leader who's like a bull in a china shop. He crashes into people, he upsets people, he was so aggressive and so thuggish with other members of his team. He just shouts at us. He just doesn't let us get on with our jobs. He was always looking over my shoulder. I wanted to sell things, and I didn't get that opportunity. It wasn't fair. It was shameful.
Stuart, I'd also like to say, on the market side, I had to rein Stuart in because he was becoming quite...
You did mention that to me?
Embarrassed. And I said it to Stuart. It became... disgusting. He was shouting down Portobello Road Market.
Exactly. That's exactly how a market stall works. It's not the place to be there in a suit and tie and think, excuse me, would you like a meeting?
I have to say, I think your very aggressive sales pitch put a lot of people off, from what I witnessed.
It was cringeable.
Well, the next move is really that you as the team leader are going to have to decide which 2 people you think need to come back in this boardroom.
Alex and Stuart.
OK. Well, you are the gentleman. I'll see you on the next task.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord Sugar.
Right, gentlemen, I'd like you to step outside for a moment, and then I'll be calling you back in shortly when I'm going to decide which one of you is leaving the process. Off you go. That was the boys' team, was it? Because they were arguing like a bunch of old washerwomen.
It was like that throughout the entire process. Dan, he was very much the dictator. I saw a lot of finger-pointing and arm-folding and not a lot of doing, I'm afraid.
Cocky sort of chap.
I mean, Stuart, in that market, Jamie was right. His aggression was certainly putting people off. All I saw Alex do was stand behind the griddle. I think he sold the lowest amount in the market.
Hello?
Yeah, send the 3 of them in, please.
Lord Sugar will see you now.
Right, gentlemen. Stuart.
Yes, Lord Sugar?
There's been some complaints, you know, made about your aggressive style by some of your colleagues.
Yep.
And also Karen here. How do you want to address that?
If you've got criticism which you've just made, I'll certainly look to address that. I was very conscious that I was extremely tired. The pressure to sell as much as possible was right on my back, and I desperately wanted to sell every single sausage on that stand. I certainly sold, if not the most.
You didn't sell the most, no.
You sold 14 packs.
14 packs?
Yeah, for £78.80.
OK. I certainly felt like I sold a lot of sausages. So if I'm not good enough, I'm not going to walk out that door not thinking I've tried my hardest.
There's a distinct difference between trying your hardest and bludgeoning your way through life.
I'm not an aggressive person, but I'm not going to lie down.
You ain't doing bad here, son.
I'm not going to lie down and be kicked in the face by these other people because I'm a stronger candidate than them.
Stuart bags the brand, as far according to your resume.
Yeah.
A brand of what?
I think I'm completely unique. I'm 21, and the success I've achieved so far, you don't get being run-of-the-mill. There aren't many 21-year-olds, certainly it's not the majority of 21-year-olds that are in my position.
Your worst qualities, in your own admission, is that you don't like accepting criticism. Come here, and that's what you're going to get if things go wrong.
Lord Sugar, I'm sat across the boardroom table is one of the most successful people, if not in Britain, in the world. If you give me criticism, you're exceptionally well placed to make that. What I'm saying in my CV is that I don't accept criticism well from people.
From him, for example.
Exactly. I think he's got complete arrogance about him, a complete arrogance streak, and I don't think he's in a position
You don't think he was a good team leader?
I think he was a terrible team leader.
Well, Dan, what have you got to say to defend yourself? Because there ain't been a good word spoken about you by anybody yet.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised there's not been a good word spoken. I put myself forward to be the project manager.
Yeah, that's about the only good thing, right? So I got one good thing.
What I did, Lord Sugar, was I managed the team. I made decisions and I made sure this team resulted in a profit.
You never got your hands dirty once.
I certainly managed the group.
You said you were managing the group in the sales, but you never sold anything really of any value.
I did sell.
How much did you sell?
Not make this about the sales numbers. Ultimately,
well, it is, because you said that you were leading the sales team. You've got relevance. You're sales director.
What I did
you said that you were leading the team. You can lead and sell. You can lead and sell. You don't need to not be selling while you're leading. You can lead and sell at the same time.
You're talking an awful lot, Stuart. What I did was manage the team. You were the one that was argumentative throughout.
You talked over everyone, specifically me.
And do
you know what?
Did you witness this type of stuff, Alex?
Dan, I wouldn't call it managing, I'd actually call it bullying. You know, Dan acted like a dictator yesterday. From the outset, he made quite clear, I'll make the orders, you'll do the work.
Dan, why did you bring Alex back in this boardroom?
I brought him back in for two reasons. One was the issue with the sausage-making process. We delayed us for over an hour, hour and a half. I hold him responsible for that. It was a fairly simple task to measure out the ingredients and tip them into a hopper.
Dan, how many sausages did you make yesterday?
What I did was I managed the team that produced over 1,100 sausages.
That's, on a calculator, naught, I think.
Well, it's not about producing the sausage yourself. It's
why
about
can't
leading
you
the team
manage
that went to
and
profit.
Why can't you manage and make and
My
manage and sell?
role was team manager. I managed the team. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty.
You never got your hands dirty.
No, I do get my hands dirty.
You lead by example.
You might do,
That's
but you never did.
Well, neither of you put yourselves forward to manage this team.
Why did you bring Stuart into this boardroom?
I'd love to know.
Yeah, Stuart wasn't actually...
And just shut up for a minute, will you? Your mouth.
I won't speak again.
I want to hear what he's got to say.
Stuart was aggressive and was argumentative towards customers. We'd now seen your sales figures weren't nearly as good as the bluff you've given me so far.
But they're how much better than yours?
Stuart, speak when you're spoken to.
Okay.
So, Dan, having listened to this kind of tirade, could you give me any credible reason why I shouldn't fire you?
Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I've got an eye for the deal.
Can I just stop you there one minute? An entrepreneur...
Correct.
It's not something you call yourself. It's normally something that other people observe.
It has been observed, perhaps not by yourself yet.
It was once worth $2.5 million, but you lost it all.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm fighting back. A lot of good people have had failures, but I've had success and I'm fighting back.
So who should be fired then here today?
It's not my decision
Well, I'm asking your suggestion. You're an entrepreneur. You're a leader of men.
I brought in two people that I think deserve to be fired on the back of this task.
Both of them then?
If you could.
I can do that. And why shouldn't I fire you, Stuart?
Lord Sugar, I'm passionate, I'm a grafter. There are always words used in this boardroom, and I'm all of those things, but I'm not a cliche. If you throw 100 grand a year at any of these people, it's going to go down the drain and you won't get a maximum return. If you give me 100 grand a year, I will deliver to you 10 times that. And if I don't, take it back, I'll give it back to you, a money back guarantee. I'm that confident. And that's why you shouldn't fire me, Lord Sugar.
I had an offer like that from Nigeria once, but funnily it didn't transpire.
I'm glad that an opportunity comes along with absolutely no risk, and that is hiring me, because you can have your money back if I don't make it for you.
Alex, same question to you.
For the past 2.5 years, I've been working for one of Britain's top entrepreneurs. Somebody like him wouldn't have had me
He's
there.
let you go, though, yeah? He's let you go, unfortunately, yeah?
Many, many people have been made redundant in these times through no fault of their own. Good, talented, honest people. You know, I am one of those people. But I'm here, and I promise you that, you know, if you give me this opportunity, I will not let you down, and you can have that assurance.
OK. Well, gentlemen, I think I've heard enough, really. This was the first task. It was a tough task, working through the night. It was done for a deliberate reason, you know, just to see what you're like under pressure. Then, the message from your 7 colleagues is not good. However, I've looked at your resume. You obviously know how to do something. You're no idiot. But Stuart, you've made some ridiculous statements across the table here to me. It ain't going to get you anywhere. Alex, Karen did feed back to me that she didn't think you'd do much on the sales side, cooking a few sausages and kind of like step back a little bit.
Can I just say something?
No, you can't say anything. So on balance, the failure of the task in this particular case was down to the team leader. I think you had your chance. You blew it. Dan, you're fired. OK, go back to the house.
Thank you, Lord Sugar.
Thank you. Good luck.
Not one person came to his support out of the whole 7 people, so it's got to give you a message. This young lad Stuart, though, I mean, he's also a handful. And I was halfway to getting rid of 2 of them today, to be honest with you. I have to tell you, I ain't putting up with him for much longer.
I think Dan deserves to go, but I think Stuart can trip himself up with his mouth. I think he'll let it run away with him. And
I personally would be very happy to see Alex back.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, he's good fun.
He's a really good guy.
You're counting him out and you can count me straight back in.
Like I climbed Mount Everest. But listen, I'm so glad he took me into the boardroom because it felt so good to stack and go!
Unfortunately, I didn't win the task, and as project manager, I knew that if it went wrong, I'd be in the firing line. Not happy, but it's my responsibility.
One job, now 15 candidates. Lord Sugar's search for his apprentice has begun. Next time...
Beach holidays are big business, whether it's in Bermuda or Bognor.
The candidates get creative.
Can you imagine, like, some long hand or something, put some cream on that?
A foot glove, effectively.
But it's not all fun in the sun.
I thought that you would have known how to nail this.
I think that's a bit unfair.
Listen, no, I'm not being unfair. I can't work with them anymore. I can't do it.
A bunch of bloody amateurs. You're fired.